Hey indie filmmakers, Griffin here. In my latest episode of Cheap Thing versus Expensive Thing, available now on Indy Mogul, I test out 23 different neutral density filters. One of them was so horrible, I decided no one should ever get to use it again. If you want to see the whole competition, pause this video right now and go over to Indy Mogul and watch the full thing. Otherwise, I'll just tell you the results right here. Plus, I'll also talk about the 3 levels of ND I use and how I know which ones I need. I tested filters ranging from $5 to $580, both solid and variable NDs. Turns out the $5 filter was horrible. Green tint, blurry, and 4 times darker than advertised. It's labeled as a 3-stop filter, but was definitely 5 stops. We'll talk about what that means in a couple minutes. I expected that an expensive, solid ND would look the best, and that was true. The Lee Filters Pro Glass rendered the truest colors, was precisely the correct exposure reduction with a super clear picture. But I was surprised to find that a $200 price difference doesn't make nearly as big of a difference as I'd expect. And my conclusion was, I think this $39 Hoya filter is the best value. I decided that filters are really like wine. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get something good. Just maybe avoid the very cheapest option. After a short sponsor break, I'll explain how ND filters are labeled and how I know exactly which ones I need for my shoots. You like to learn, and that's why our sponsor for this video is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community with over 25,000 classes in everything from filmmaking to graphic design and freelance. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to classes that interest you, and you can search for specific skills and topics you'd like to follow. The lessons are broken down into short segments, so you can learn at your own pace, step by step, or if you are already knowledgeable on the subject, you can easily find and skip to the part you'd like to learn today. Annual subscriptions are less than $10 a month, but you can join more than 7 million creators learning with Skillshare with a free 2-month trial. Just use this link in the video description. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring and making this video possible. These are the 3 levels of filter I use for my projects. And ND filters can be labeled in several ways. One is optical density, the darkness of the glass. The one I like to think about is stop reduction. This is a 3-stop filter, a 6-stop filter, and a 10-stop. Those numbers make it sound like they're not too far off from each other, but in photography, 1 stop means half as much light. So a 3-stop filter is half, and then half, and then half. So it's only letting 1/8 of the light through. A 6-stop filter is also notated as an ND64, and a 10-stop filter cuts out all but 1/1000th of the light. So there's a big difference between these 3. On a regular cloudy day, I might use a 3-stop filter. For really bright sunlight, or especially if I'm using a prime lens out in the desert, I'll need a 6-stop filter. And I only use the 10-stop for time lapses when I'm really opening up the shutter to at least half a second. Here's how to figure out exactly what ND level you need for your lenses and shooting situations. Start by setting your shutter speed, aperture, and ISO to what you would like to be shooting. So let's say I want to open up this prime lens all the way to f1.4, but of course I have too much light going on coming through the windows. So now I just need to count how many stops does it take to get me to proper exposure. If I'm at f1.4 and I go down to f2, that's 1 stop. If I go to f2.8, that's a 2nd stop. And if I go to f4, that's a 3rd stop. So now I know if I wanted to open this all the way up to f1.4, I could just grab my 3-stop filter and get me right there. And now I have the shallow depth of field that I want with f1.4. And let's say I wanted to go even darker. I really wanted to get the outdoor exposure set correctly. So we're at f4, and I could go to f5.6, which is another stop, f8, which is another stop, and now outside looks pretty good. So maybe I would need a 5-stop filter, or I could use the 6-stop filter that I have, just double my ISO. I hope you found this video useful, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Be sure to check out my full ND filter test on the Indy Mogul YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.